Good evening. Welcome to episode 2. I'm Kristie.
I'm Mike.
And thank you for tuning in to episode 1. These are uncertain times. Since we filmed, there's been additional layoffs of friends and people that we know. It's really awkward when you have to go out. People don't really know how to be. So we just want to really come back to the focus on we are here to try and be a source of calm. We want to be a place where we're returning to the simple ways of being and the simple joys of life. And we want to offer this primarily as a platform for us all to keep talking about the things that are hard and the things that are great, that are getting us through. So, Mike, did you want to just recap what your experiences is, so why I'm interviewing you in these videos?
I think it's really just to sort of knuckle down that when we're all in lockdown, you may have lost your job, we're all going through a lot of fear and a lot of worry. No, you're not on your own. Everybody's being affected in some way. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are worried about money. A lot of people are worried about how long is this going to go for. And if you weren't feeling worried about those things, that would be the more unusual thing, because we're in a very crazy situation, and it's okay to be feeling all the emotions of fear, anger, sadness, all the rest of it that should come with this very, very strange and unusual experience.
I also wanted to sort of recap where you come from with your experience.
Yeah, so I'm a psychologist, and I think what I'm really just trying to do is just offer the perspective of both as a psychologist but as a bloke, how I'm feeling and how I'm coping or trying to cope with this lockdown and feeling locked in my house and being nervous about going outside and worrying about, where the next paycheck's coming from and all those challenges.
Okay, so how do we keep calm when managing all the heavy stuff that's coming our way?
So what we're dealing with is shock, a lot of shock, and the anxiety that comes with shock. And the best way, there's a whole stack of different ways you can deal with anxiety and fear, but they can broadly be chunked down into 3 things. There are intellectual or mindset-oriented activities we can focus on, which help keep us calm. There are social activities that help keep us calm, and there are emotional activities that also help us keep calm.
So what do you mean by intellectual activities?
So intellectual activity is any activity that keeps your mind occupied, in effect, in a lockdown, distracted from being in a lockdown. So, for me, a lot of my work on a day-to-day basis is quite analytical, it's quite thorough, it's quite detailed in terms of sort of the intellectual effort that's needed to invest in the work that I do. So when I come home and when I'm in lockdown, actually that's the last thing I want to do. I actually want to do something that totally takes my mind away from being analytical, because every time I read the newspaper or see something online, I delve into it, and really that's not helpful, because I'm really analysing a lot of stuff I can't actually control. I can't have any influence over. So I need to actually invest a lot of my time and energy in things that I find just pleasurable in of themselves. So that for me is things like gardening, it's doing house maintenance, it's playing with my kids, it's reading action adventure novels, because I enjoy that sort of thing, and it sort of gets my mind out of kind of the doom and gloom, at least for a little while. But for others, it might be a whole range of other pursuits, like learning a new skill or doing some sort of study. Anything that actually gets your mind focused on a task or activity that is a distraction, but also an activity which in of itself is enjoyable for you to do. What works for you?
Wow, what works for me? I think because I'm mainly mumming it, with the occasional teaching, not so much at the moment, teaching job, but I like to get into this. This has been really good, like a bit of purpose. Also getting, skilling up. Like lovely Brody inspired me to go back to sourdough making. So I'm going to do that, and I like to sort of help others. So I'm trying to look at ways I can do that, and that's really distracting because it gives me a focus and a job and something more than searching frenetically for answers. Yeah, so, okay, the next one, socially. So you said intellectually, socially...
And emotionally.
Okay,
The social thing is we are, human beings are social creatures. We need to have the dynamism of having a community around us and sort of all the chit-chat and the banter and how's your weekend, and watch the footy on the weekend, and all that kind of has stopped. So we need to, in becoming socially distant and isolated, it's really imperative we don't become lonely. And so really making a conscious effort to connect with the people that we would otherwise, on an incidental basis, interact with on a day-to-day basis. Friends, family. Think about people you haven't connected with for a while, making contact with them, doing FaceTime, WhatsApp, Facebook, building it into your routine and checking in on how people are going and knowing the warm engagement you get when they take the time and effort to check in with you. It's really important that we stay connected and we talk about what's going on, but we also have time for banter and jokes and sharing funny anecdotes. There's a really good one going around on the internet of a guy saying you've got two options: isolated with your wife and child, or B, and before he hears what the option B is, he says B. He wants to go with that. So just keeping kind of friendly banter going is really important because it helps keep us up and keep us out of the doldrums that come with feeling isolated and feeling lonely.
I think there's a few good people too out there doing it really well at the moment. Like Julia Morris is hilarious. They're getting dressed up in their dining room and kitchen for formal dinners, and Joel Kristie was doing something funny too. And I think I'm surrounding myself and my social media stream with people who make me laugh, and sort of connecting through different groups on Messenger and through text, and just being a little bit silly, because I tried to be a bit silly before this video, and then I was told I wasn't really that funny. But I'd drawn a big monobrow with eye makeup and a big mustache, and he was quite disgusted. But I was trying to emphasise that I have, the beauticians are shut, but he didn't think it was funny. I thought it was funny, so it was good for my social and emotional well-being. Okay, so the next bit that draws us to emotionally. So how do we keep our cups full of the good stuff at this time?
First and foremost, acknowledge and know that what you're feeling emotionally is normal, and lots of people are going through the same thing. So what you're experiencing and the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows and the highs and lows is totally normal and okay. The other thing to know is what we're dealing with COVID-19 is an illness. And when you're feeling sick, what do you want? What do you need? You want comfort, you want support, you want people fussing over you a little bit. And so during this time, emotionally, we all need that. And it's something that we can also be doing for others. So through those social connections and having that banter, you're also just checking in and showing that you care. It doesn't have to be all mushy, sushy stuff. It can be just kind, how are you, how's life, missing the footy, whatever it could be. But it's taking time to just connect. And the other thing I would say with emotions is be accepting of the fact that as human beings, we're all a little bit faulty. And as we go through the shock and turmoil of what's actually happening, be patient with ourselves, that you're going to act out and you're going to say things and maybe do things that later on you feel a bit embarrassed about. Be forgiving of yourself and be forgiving of each other. This is okay. It's okay to go through those experiences and accept that it's normal. Be patient with yourselves and with each other.
Do you think that's probably about it?
I think the other thing with emotions is by creating those social connections and putting that energy and effort into the things that keep your mind occupied and albeit a little bit distracted, they're all good examples of what people talk about in mindfulness. Now, mindfulness can be so many different things. People usually think of it as meditation or something along those lines, and if that's what works for you, that's great. But for other people, chopping the wood for the fire, that's mindfulness, because you're just focused in on that one activity that you find rewarding and satisfying in of itself for you. For others, they want to learn a new skill, so they watch something on YouTube. For others, it's learning a new, doing an online course. It's whatever floats your boat to get you occupied and engaged and interested to get through this time, which we know will not last forever.
Can I add about the resilience journals?
Yep.
For Valentine's Day, I got us the Resilience Project journals, which were really... Hugh Kylenberg does a lot of great work around that area, and they're really good because before bed each night you have to identify different things depending on the night, but it's all about looking for the things that you're grateful for, the people who had impacts on you positively, the moments that you loved, lots of grateful moments. And even though there's a lot of bad out there at the moment, there's still so many little things to be grateful for. Like, I'm not so grateful for my lack of food stash, but I am really grateful for the educational stash that we did before this. And I'm, grateful for the sunshine today, our family bike ride.
Not around other people.
And it's a good way to end your day, and I haven't missed a day since we got them. And it just makes you feel a lot better.
Gives you time to reflect and pause. And what we're doing at the moment is we're all forced to pause, and as a result we're reflecting. But put the energy into something that's intellectually stimulating for you. Put the energy into keeping connected socially with the people you love, having a bit of banter and a bit of fun, and look after ourselves emotionally and look after each other emotionally by showing you care and just be kind and forgiving of one another, because we're all going through a real turmoil, but we will come out the other end.
Thank you.